Welcome back. Here we go. We're going to look at the unit wrap-up. So the end of each unit, there will be a wrap-up, and that's where you will complete your unit quiz and submit your unit essay exam. So let's take those in kind. So to get there, again, you'll go to course content, and again, this information will be available to you once you pass the orientation exam. So just showing it to you so you will know what to look for. So when you're ready for week 5, you're going to go down here, the unit wrap-up. And in the unit wrap-up, again, you can navigate in the sidebar menu, just like you can with the weeks as well. You can go here or here and click, or you can simply use these little arrows right here to navigate. So this is the unit quiz. There will be 25 questions, and it will be basically the same. It'll come from the exact same test bank as from week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And so you will see a lot of the same questions, if not all of the same questions. Maybe there might be a couple that you've never seen before, but that's actually quite unlikely, especially if you took the weekly exams more than once. There'll be 25 questions. It's due the 23rd, no makeups. I'll explain how to make up those percentages if you happen to miss the deadline or don't get a percentage as high as you wanted to. You'll have 30 minutes to complete it, so you want to make sure you have all of your notes and you're ready to go. The one thing you want to do on the weekly quizzes is go to the grade book and see how you did, and it will tell you the correct answer and what you got wrong exactly. So go there, you can print it out. The quizzes really aren't there to hit you over the head about what you don't know. It's there to kind of just point to, hey, this is what you should be looking at. This indicators. That's the way I view quizzes. And I've set them up in a way that reflects that. It's just a finger pointer at information. Because sometimes you could be reading information or viewing information, and believe it or not, it just kind of goes over the head. Like, what was that all about? Right? So the quizzes allow you to make sure that real important stuff isn't just kind of going in one ear and out the other. Right? The quiz basically is a flag saying, yeah, this is important. Make sure you take note of it. Okay, let's say you can take the quiz as many times as you need to, just like the weekly quizzes, but your average score, not your highest score, will be recorded. So keep that in mind. And again, if your unit quiz is higher than your weekly quiz, then the unit quiz score will be applied to your weekly score. It doesn't work in reverse, right? So if you don't do as well on the unit quiz as you did on the weekly quiz, it's not your weekly quiz scores go down. But so this only will work to your advantage, in other words. And spelling does count, just like in the weekly quizzes. When you've completed that by the specific due date, it's open now. So if you're ready early, and I highly recommend doing that in this class and any class, if you're able to, don't do it for the sake of rushing. But if you are able to work ahead, do so, because you never know what's going to happen in the future, right? You can get sick. You could have other things going on in your life, all sorts of stuff, right? And so if you do work ahead, you might be able to give yourself a little breathing room when things do come up, right? So I recommend working ahead when it is possible. And the essay exam, here are the instructions right here. You're going to choose one of the 3 prompts posted below. I'll show you that in just a second. Your essay is going to be 5 to 8 paragraphs, 350 to 600 words. Don't worry too much about the length. It's just there as a guide. So if you end up finishing with only 2 or 3 paragraphs, that's an indication that you probably should go back and view the material and see if there's more information you could provide and analysis. If you end up writing 5 or 6 pages, that's an indication that maybe you want to go back and edit a little bit, right? So I don't do a word count on your paper, so don't get too caught up on the amount of words that need to be in there. Just use it as a guideline. Note B, be sure that your essay covers the scope and the period for and not just one of the topics like the American Revolution, etc. Right? And so what I'm getting at there is that this covers the entire unit. So you don't want to focus on just one lecture. You want to make sure that your essay prompt, your response to the essay prompt is bringing in each lecture for that unit. So for this unit, we have the Age of Expansion, we have the Development of Slavery, we have Salutary Neglect, and we have the American Revolution. You want to be sure you touch on all of those lectures in this unit. Be sure to create a thesis that covers the time period and the subject covered for the unit assigned. This is something that really gets students that are new to writing academic essays. Don't get too caught up on the thesis. You want to make sure you have one, but it doesn't need to be something that requires a lot of thought or stress or anxiety. It could be something as simple as just turning the essay prompt into a sentence, right? The economic history of the colonial America from 1763 to from 1608, that should read, to 1763 was shaped by geography, northern, middle, and southern colonies, global market, and the institution of slavery, period, right? So simply turn the essay prompt into a sentence and then use your bodies as ways of providing information to back up this statement here. It's all a thesis is, right? And that's all a body paragraph is. So paragraph. So with each body paragraph, it should, if this was your thesis, it should cover the geography. Like that would be paragraph 1. The emerging global market, that would be paragraph 2. And the institution of slavery, right? That would be paragraph 3. And then your conclusion would summarize all 3 of those points. Right? So try to keep it simple in your approach to this, and you'll do fine with it. So there's 3 prompts to choose from. So take a look at them now, see which one looks most interesting to you, and work with that. Here is, and this is basically information straight from the learning objectives that you have to submit throughout each week. So, but these links here pertain specifically to this essay prompt. These links here apply specifically to these essay prompts. These links here apply specifically to this essay prompt here. So make sure that you're getting the information from the course. Don't go to outside sources. The reason why I do that is since we are in a information revolution, which is great. There's an abundance of information out there. What happens with students, though, is it becomes difficult for them to ascertain what is legitimate information over garbage, basically. So I'm going to do that work for you and make sure that you have enough information to respond accurately and adequately to each of these essay prompts. So you're only choosing one, right? So look through them. And what I would begin doing as you're doing the learning objectives and the posts is as you come across information that helps you respond to any of these essay prompts. That's why it would be great if you choose one now for yourself. Just write it down or summarize it, and on one side and on the back, write where you got it from, right? It could be as simply as Age of Expansion, Learning Objective 2, or Development of Slavery, Learning Objective 3. Summarizing just the quote or a law or an event, a rebellion, a battle, a historical individual, and how it will help you respond to that essay prompt. And just do that as you go with the learning objectives or the discussion posts. So something that you post or something somebody responded to you or something you see in the discussion posts. And you're like, yeah, that will help me respond to that. Write it down. It sounds like, oh, that sounds like extra work. It will save you a lot of stress and anxiety, and in the end, it will make the writing process a lot easier. Because when you're done, you might have a stack that looks like this, right? Not too many, but there's a good, 15 of them in there. And then you go through, and then you can begin to maybe organize it a little bit, right? And so if this was your essay prompt right, if this was your thesis right here, or if this was your thesis, let's play it right. And basically, if you're going to turn this into a thesis, hold on a second, let me turn this into a thesis. So this is the essay prompt right here. This is one of the essay prompts. This essay prompt 1 that you can choose if you so like to. Right? Discuss slavery in British America, the colonies, and its influence on the political, social, and economic history of the United States from 1608 to 1763. Right? And when I say United States, I should say, actually, let's change that. I'll change that in the colonial America. Because the United States, the words United States doesn't exist at this point, so let's be accurate here. Right? To change that into a thesis, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. You don't have to overthink it. You kind of just simply rearrange the statement there, the prompt there, into a sentence that it could look exactly like this or something like this, right? Discuss from 1608 to 1763, the British colonies in America was influenced politically, socially, and economically, period, right? It's a statement. This is what happened, right? They were influenced. This area of the world was influenced politically, socially, and economically. Now, then you can expand in general on what this specifically means. Politically, you can talk about the House of Burgesses in Virginia, which will make sense to you once you get into the content. You could talk about socially, you could talk about the Southern plantation system and how it developed and created a culture and a political system of whiteness, which will make sense to you if it doesn't already, once you get into the content. And the economics of it, right? You could talk about the money that was being made, the industries that developed out to that, right? So you could briefly just mention that in your first paragraph. And then specifically, paragraph 1 is going to talk about how the colonies were politically motivated or influenced. Paragraph 3 will be how they were socially influenced. And paragraph 4 will be how the colonies were economically influenced by slavery, right? All being influenced by slavery. And then your conclusion is wrapping up those things and just reiterating your thesis and explaining how you made your point, your argument. And you know, these factors here could be 1 or 2 paragraphs, maybe 3 at the most, right? You want to try to keep it concise, but you don't want to leave important information out. So if you feel like you need to write more, do so. And this is, again, where these little note cards come into play. If you do this on a regular basis, when it comes time to writing it, anything you have, any examples that deal with the political influence of slavery, if this happens to be your topic, put them right there, right? Socially, you put them in another stack. Economically, you put them in another stack, and then you look at them. And some will stand out to you as real important, good examples. Others will be like, not too important. It doesn't really help me with my thesis, so you throw those out. And then you organize them. So if you want your second paragraph to look at the political influences, stack them all up in one area, and just you write your paragraph. Here's example 1, here's example 2, example 3, blah, blah, blah. It's a great tool. Once I was introduced to this as a college student when I was a sophomore, wow, it made essays so much easier to write. And a lot less, there was no stress, and there was no sense that, oh, I hope I did it right. I knew I did it right because it was organized. What this helps you avoid doing is on the week of or the night before your essay is due, you just slap some words together and you submit it, and you end up getting a 60, 70, or worse % on an essay, right? Don't do that. Just work as you go, and the work actually takes care of itself for you. Guarantee it. Try it out. If you've never tried out this before, it will help you with this class, and it will make your college experience a lot less stressful than it needs to be. Okay, so right there. Here's one thing you want to make sure is you do not post this part here. It drives me crazy that Blackboard even makes this a possibility. The comments is I don't even know why they have this here. You could email me if you have a comment to make. But if you do want to put a comment in there like how much you love this assignment, I love this assignment, right? Or whatever you want to say, right? You can put that there. But that is not where you want to submit your assignment. You want to either write your submission right here, which I don't recommend because it could, Blackboard can go out on you, or write it in a Word document, and when you're ready, browse your computer, desktop, or your pen drive and submit it like you would any other thing, right? If you need a reminder, right here is an image that will help you with that. The rubric, which I haven't yet developed yet for this course, is right here, so you can get an idea of how you'll be assessed, but later there will be specific information. I just go in and I grade there. So for purposes of time, I don't provide feedback generally. I use this rubric as a way of giving you general feedback. If you want feedback, though, please, I would love to give you feedback. The reason why I don't give feedback to every single student is it seems that students value getting their essays graded quickly rather than getting a lot of feedback and it taking a week to sometimes up to 3 weeks. So if you're not needing feedback, then just don't email me specific feedback. The rubric here will give you general feedback. But if you want specific feedback, by all means, email me and I will give you feedback. I love giving feedback, and I love talking with students on that. Yeah, just do make sure that you're looking at the rubric. It'll give you the expectations of what is in store. I haven't developed yet, but it will be developed, so take a look at it later, and it will help you understand exactly what needs to be in your essay. All right, I think that's it. Let's move on to bigger and greater things, jump into the content. So get through the exam, don't draw it out. You can take it as many times as you need to. It will record your highest score. Post your questions on the discussion board if you have questions. And we can all help each other out collectively in doing so. Other than that, go forth and be great. You guys are going to do great this semester. I have no doubt about that. Just stick with the schedule, stick with the guidelines, the expectations, communicate with me, and everything will be great. I'll talk with you later. Bye.